All right, it's 8:20 here, Big 550 KTRS. Tony Messenger, the daily columnist for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, is a contributor to the Big 550 every Tuesday and Thursday. Good morning, Tony Messenger.
Good morning, McGraw. Good morning, Kelly.
We're good. You need to explain to people what the Greitens Shuffle is.
So the Greitens Shuffle, my column on what day is today? My column on Wednesday, yesterday, was about I'm sitting there on opening day and I'm watching the ceremonies, and there's the governor walking around the field, and that's not unusual. People expect the governor to be at opening day and events like that. He's wearing a nice new red Cardinals jacket, and it strikes me, this is the governor that on his first day in office put an executive order in that says none of his staff, nobody in the executive branch can receive lobbyist gifts. He ran on the concept that lawmakers in the legislature that receive gifts, such as tickets to Cardinals games, are corrupt. That's how he got elected. And he said he would not take gifts. So it just struck me, is that his jacket? Did somebody give him that jacket? Did he get tickets to the game? And again, if it weren't for the fact that he ran on that, nobody would particularly care that the governor's at the game. The mayor was there, Steve Stinger was there, all sorts of elected officials are there. But this is the guy who ran on the fact that that's corruption. So I emailed his office, and they said, yes, he was invited to the game. And I said, well, who invited him? Well, the Cardinals invited him. I said, well, is that a gift? No, it's not a gift because he's paying for the tickets from his campaign fund. Well, this is the exact same thing that Republicans have been doing since Steve Tilley started doing it. We call that the Tilley Shuffle, where he basically uses his campaign fund to take gifts from one set of lobbyists and corporations and turn that into a personal benefit for himself, sometimes in the form of golf outings, sometimes in the form of tickets. And voters can't see who's actually paying for the gift. In the old days, somebody gave a gift, the lawmaker accepted the gift, and you could say that that was bad, but you at least knew who was paying, who was trying to influence them, the person who gave the gift. Now, the Cardinals give the invite, which we all know is a gift. The governor decides, I will pay for that gift out of my campaign funds, and then has the gall to tell me that's not really a gift. So that's what they told me. So that, to me, is the Greitens Shuffle. He has now told his staff and told the lawmakers that it's not a gift if you get it directly from the boss. They said that there was no lobbyist involved, so there's not a gift. So if you're a lawmaker or you work for the executive branch, you call Bill DeWitt directly. Now, not everybody can get Bill DeWitt or Tom Stillman or the owner of Anheuser-Busch or the big dog who isn't the lobbyist. But that's the Greitens Shuffle. The Greitens Shuffle is if you bypass the lobbyist, it's no longer considered a gift, and all bets are off on whether or not that's an unethical transaction.
Tony, if you're ever doing a story on me, call me and let me know, will you?
Yeah, I will.
Give me a little heads up first.
Give you a little heads up.
All right. What are your thoughts on this MLS stadium that everyone's upset that it failed?
Well, not everybody's upset that it failed. It's a very interesting election. First of all, it's a historic election. We just elected our first woman mayor in Lyda Cruz, and so congratulations to her. And it'll be interesting to see. This will be a new era. I believe that the way the election happened, and I may be in the minority in here. I was having a talk in the newsroom with folks, and they thought I was wrong, but people think I'm wrong all the time, so I'm used to that. I believe that the way the election went, where Prop 1 passed and Prop 2 for the soccer stadium failed, actually makes Mayor Cruz's first few weeks, first few months much more difficult than they would have been otherwise. Had the soccer stadium passed, she's managing two new propositions. Let's make sure we're moving forward and getting that, getting the bond sold and getting that money focused on MetroLink, talking to the county about combining with us to build the North-South MetroLink, working to get the federal match, managing the soccer stadium, talking about the new jobs. All of that, she would have had some budget issues, no doubt, to deal with, and she's going to anyway. But now what happens is the use tax increases automatically because Prop 1 passes. So now she has this $4 million problem. She's got homeless problems to deal with, and some of that money by law is supposed to go to homelessness and affordable housing. She's got folks who need health care, and some of that money's supposed to go to that. She's got neighborhoods clamoring for development funds, and she ran on a public safety platform and says she wants to use some of that money for cops. She's got to show us that she can get 15 votes on the Board of Aldermen and get one other vote on the E&A board, and that's going to be a challenge. I believe that the way that the voters who came out, primarily progressive voters who came out and opposed the soccer stadium, the same voters who almost got Tashara Jones elected, not entirely the same, but many of the same voters, that's a new voting bloc that Lyda Cruz and as mayor is going to have to deal with, and it will be interesting to see how she goes about building a coalition to spend that use tax money. I think that's going to be a big challenge for her, and it will be that is going to be the thing to watch. And where does that money go, and how does the city move forward?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I'm a soccer fan, as people know. I'm disappointed that the soccer stadium failed, not because I thought it was the greatest proposal in the world. As I wrote, it would have been significantly better if it was regional. Like everything that we do in this region, it would have been better if it were a city-county proposal. But I do believe I see a lot of good things going on downtown in particular, and I think this would have built on that. I think it would have been good for the city long term.
So
I hope the soccer folks I know they said there was no plan B. I hope they get in a room and figure one out.
Let me stick up for the county here for a second, because everyone's saying, hey, I wish it was a regional vote, which, sure, everybody does, but we're given the world we're given. It's not a city-county merger. We're all separated. But if somebody were to come and propose putting an MLS stadium in the county and have city funds help fund a county stadium for MLS, people's heads would explode. So why is it always the county's got to give money to the city? That's regionalism. Anything else, it's, the county's out for their own purpose.
Well, that may be how you're seeing regionalism. That's not how I'm seeing regionalism. My point is the city and we shouldn't be talking about whether it's city money and county money. It should all be one pot of money. We should be one place. So to me, that's the dichotomy. We always talk about, well, it's city versus county. Well, we did this time, and you. That's the problem. We're constantly playing this game of back and forth. Look at Prop P. Prop P passes, and you know who's upset? City cops. Because all of a sudden, the county cops are going to get a raise, and the city police force is worried about the fact that now they're going to lose some of their cops because they're going to go to the county. Well, you know what the solution is? Regional police force. One police force that takes advantage of that Prop P money. Don't give the money to all of the small North County police departments that shouldn't exist. Get rid of them. Get rid of those police departments. Create one police department. And you know what that one police department can do? Start taking care of what's going on the metro. And so regionalism, to me, is about changing the conversation, not continuing to have this dichotomous conversation, but completely changing it so that it's one conversation, one common goal.
I agree with you 3,000%. But today, we're not there. So
right.
You have to live in the rules that we're living in today. And while utopia is what you're talking about, it's so hard to get there because of so many other warring factions. Meanwhile, while we're arguing over it, an MLS opportunity just flew right by us.
It did.
Yeah.
And I hope that the MLS folks, both Don Garber, the commissioner, and the investors who, after they take a couple of days and lick their wounds and realize they lost, look for other opportunities for Plan B. I think they exist. I think it's important enough that they should investigate them. And part of that investigation involves getting the city, the county, and the state all on the same page. I think there's a way to get there.
All right, Tony Messenger, St. Louis Post-Dispatch columnist. It is Thursday. Every Tuesday and Thursday, he joins us. Tony, good work. Thanks for checking in.
Good to talk to you.
All right.
Have a great day.
You got it. You know when Tony Messenger calls the governor's office, they're like, great, Tony's calling again. Who wants to answer this?
I know. Who's taking the call?
Do we really have to answer it? Oh, boy. 8:29 here, Big 550 KTRS. A little programming note. Tomorrow on the show, Governor Blunt and Attorney General Josh Hawley.
You mean Senator Blunt?
What did I say?
Governor.
Not his son. Senator Blunt is going to be on the show.
Mr. Roy Blunt.
Mr. Roy Blunt. Senator Roy Blunt, the honorable senator from the great state of Missouri, and the Attorney General of the great state of Missouri, Josh Hawley, will be joining us.
Oh, at the same time or
no,
separately?
2 different times.
Ooh.
So make sure you shower.
way to kick
Make
off the
sure you
weekend.
shower tomorrow because we got some highfalutins coming on the show. 8:30, Big 550 KTRS.